What if the only thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted is the way you choose to think? Take a moment and let that sink in. It's not your background, not your bank account, not your age, your job, or your circumstances. It's your attitude, that silent force that shapes how you see the world, how you react to failure, and how you show up when life pushes back. Attitude is invisible, but it's felt in everything you do. It's the lens that either limits you or lifts you. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they carry the wrong attitude. Maybe you've been told that you're not enough. Maybe life hasn't been fair. You've worked hard and it still feels like you're stuck in the same place. You see others moving forward while you're left wondering when it's going to be your turn. That frustration, that heaviness in your chest, it's real, and you have every right to feel it. But feeling stuck doesn't mean you are stuck. You are not powerless. You are not trapped. You have a choice, and it begins with the way you respond, not to what happens around you, but to what happens inside you. When your attitude says, I am capable, even if I haven't seen the results yet, your world starts to change. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because your perspective shifts. You stop looking for reasons to quit and start looking for reasons to fight. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start working with what you've got. That's when momentum begins. That's when courage grows. You begin to see challenges not as walls, but as doors. Doors that open only to those who are bold enough to push. And here's the reward most people miss. When you change your attitude, you unlock something deeper. You unlock belief. You unlock discipline. You unlock a version of yourself that most people never get to meet. That version of you doesn't back down. That version of you doesn't settle. That version of you wakes up with purpose, walks through fear, and gets back up when life knocks you down. Because your attitude isn't just about how you feel, it's about who you become. So if you're tired of waiting, tired of doubting, tired of starting over, then stay. Stay because this might be the moment everything changes. Not because of something outside of you, but because you finally realize the power that's been inside you all along. This isn't about hype, it's about truth. You are stronger than you think. And the key to unlocking that strength is attitude. Keep watching, because what comes next will show you how to build it, live it, and never let it go. This is where your transformation begins, right here, right now. And it starts with a decision. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every action you take, every word you speak, every goal you chase begins with a thought. But not just any thought, your dominant thoughts. The ones that repeat when no one's around, the ones that play on a loop in silence. That internal dialogue becomes your reality. If that voice is filled with fear, doubt, and limitation, your world shrinks. But when your attitude turns that voice into one of courage, possibility, and relentless belief, everything expands. The outer world doesn't have to shift first. Your inner world does. There's science behind it. The way you think literally rewires your brain. When you choose to believe in growth, your brain begins to reprogram itself. New connections form. You become more solution-focused, more resilient, more capable of pushing through the chaos. This isn't magic. This is how the human mind works. The more you feed it a powerful, positive attitude, the more it starts to default to strength instead of surrender. It becomes your edge, your unshakable core. While others react, you respond. While others break down, you rise. Because attitude isn't reacting to what's happening, it's deciding what it means and how you'll use it. Most people never tap into that power. They let circumstances dictate their mindset. They let one bad moment poison an entire day. They hold on to anger, frustration, and insecurity like it's armor, not realizing it's the very thing weighing them down. But you have another option. You can wake up every day and choose the mindset that serves you. You can decide before anything happens that no matter what the world throws at you, you won't fold. You won't let temporary emotions define permanent outcomes. This kind of mental strength doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means facing the storm and refusing to let it sink you. It's not about fake positivity. It's about real resilience. It's about saying, yes, this is hard, but I'm harder. Yes, I'm tired, but I won't stop. Yes, I'm scared, but fear doesn't make my decisions. I do. That is the mindset that turns pain into fuel. That's the attitude that transforms effort into results. That's what champions are made of, not perfection, but persistence. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be focused. You don't need to know the whole path. You need to trust the next step. And when your attitude is aligned with purpose, you will take that step again and again, no matter how heavy it feels. That's what creates transformation. Not talent, not luck, not shortcuts, just mindset. Just the simple, relentless choice to keep showing up with the right attitude, no matter what. Because when you change your mindset, you change your actions. And when you change your actions, you change your life. The power has always been yours. Now it's time to use it. The world around you will always try to define you. It will look at where you came from, what you have, what you lack, and tell you who you are. But none of that matters if your attitude refuses to be shaped by circumstance. You were not born to be limited by your environment. You were born to rise above it. You were born to think higher, push harder, and live freer. The most powerful shift happens when you stop waiting for something around you to change and realize the change must begin within you. Your environment is loud. It whispers excuses. It yells limitations. It tries to convince you that the odds are too high, the time is too late, and success is for someone else. But you are not the product of your surroundings. You are the product of your choices. And the greatest choice you will ever make is your attitude, your decision to respond to life with strength, focus, and a refusal to settle. You may not control everything that happens around you, but you control what happens next. You decide whether you stay small or rise bold, whether you give in or grow up. It's easy to point fingers, easy to blame the system, the past, the pain, but blame is the language of the powerless, and you are not powerless. You are not broken. You are not stuck. You have the ability to break cycles, to create change, to live with purpose no matter where you started. It all begins when you look at your reflection and say, this is where the story changes. This is where I take my power back. Because the truth is, no environment can imprison a mind that chooses freedom. There are people who came from nothing and became everything, not because the world gave them away, but because they created one. They trained their minds to see through obstacles. They refused to let their surroundings dictate their ceiling, and you can do the same, because your worth is not measured by where you are right now. Your value isn't determined by what's outside of you. It's what's burning inside. That fire, that vision, that voice that tells you there's more, and you're meant to chase it. So whatever's around you right now, pressure, poverty, noise, doubt, let it push you forward, not pull you down. Let it fuel you, not fool you. Let your attitude rise so high that nothing around you can bring it low. When your mindset becomes stronger than your environment, nothing can hold you back. That's not motivation. That's mastery. That's the power of choosing growth over excuse, faith over fear, and purpose over comfort. That's the moment you stop being a product of your surroundings and start becoming the force that shapes your future. The outside world is loud, but your inner world can be louder. And once your attitude rises above everything else, so will your life. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself, not once, but every day. That inner voice, the quiet whisper behind every decision, every doubt, every dream, that voice shapes your future. And too often that voice is a critic. It questions your worth. It magnifies your flaws. It repeats the lies you've picked up from failure, rejection, and fear. But here's the truth. That voice is not your destiny. It is your programming. And like any program, it can be rewritten. Your attitude is what holds the pen. When you change the way you speak to yourself, you change the way you see yourself. And when you see yourself differently, you show up differently. Confidence is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting that no matter what comes, you will figure it out. That belief doesn't come from perfection. It comes from intention. You must decide that your voice will be one of power, not poison, one of faith, not fear, one that speaks life when everything around you is screaming doubt. Your brain believes what you tell it most. Feed it enough fear, and it will search for danger in every opportunity. Feed it enough strength, and it will search for solutions in every challenge. The words you repeat become the thoughts you believe. The thoughts you believe become the choices you make. and the choices you make become the life you live. That's how powerful your internal voice is. That's why attitude isn't just an emotion, it's a decision. A decision to replace I can't with I will. To trade I'm not ready for I'm becoming. To silence what if I fail, and answer, what if I fly? You don't need permission to change that voice. You don't need someone else to validate your worth. You need to stop letting your fears write your story. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your mistakes. You are the strength that came through all of it. You are the decision to try again. And that decision is made through attitude, through choosing to believe in a future that doesn't yet exist, but will, if you're brave enough to keep building it. The voice in your head can be your worst enemy or your greatest ally. You get to choose. Choose to speak with compassion, with fire, with purpose. Choose to remind yourself of what you're capable of, even when you don't feel it yet. Especially when you don't feel it yet.
That's where real power begins.
In the silence and the doubt, in the in-between moments where no one else sees the battle, but you do. And you keep going, not because it's easy, but because you've decided your voice will no longer be a cage. It will be a key. That's how change begins, from the inside out, one thought at a time. The way you think shapes the way you feel, and the way you feel shapes the way you act. That cycle repeats every day, often without you even noticing. And if your attitude is rooted in fear, hesitation, or defeat, that cycle will hold you in place. But the moment you shift your mindset, you interrupt that pattern. You create a new loop, one that fuels action instead of anxiety, one that builds momentum instead of resistance. That's where real growth begins, not when everything feels perfect, but when you make a powerful choice in the middle of pressure. Growth doesn't feel good at first. It stretches you. It exposes your weaknesses. It tests your patience. But growth is where success is born. And the only way to grow is to carry an attitude that welcomes the challenge. Most people want results without resistance. But strength is built through the very resistance they try to avoid. A strong attitude doesn't mean avoiding struggle. It means embracing it, using it, transforming it. When you stop seeing struggle as the enemy and start seeing it as the path, you become unstoppable. Your attitude determines how you interpret the pain. Do you see it as a punishment or as preparation? Do you let it harden you or sharpen you? The pain of growth is temporary, but the pride of progress is forever. And if you can stay focused, if you can train your mind to hold the vision even when the evidence doesn't show it yet, you will move through the discomfort with purpose. That's what separates the driven from the drifting. Attitude. The decision to stay grounded in belief when everything around you feels uncertain. The truth is, your journey will never be smooth. There will be setbacks, delays, and moments where nothing seems to make sense. But none of that defines you. Your response does. Will you fold under pressure, or will you rise because of it? Will you complain, or will you create? Every moment you face is a mirror. It reflects who you are choosing to be. And if you carry an attitude of resilience, of courage, of vision, you will shape those moments instead of being shaped by them. You are not fragile. You are not built to break. You are built to bend, adapt, and grow stronger with every test. But that strength doesn't show up on its own. You have to choose it every morning, every setback, every time doubt tries to creep in. Attitude is not something you feel, it's something you commit to. And when you commit to growth, to grit, to pushing through, something shifts. You begin to respect the process, not just the result. You begin to see pain as progress. You begin to rise not because life got easier, but because your mind got stronger. That's the turning point. And it begins when you stop waiting for things to get better and decide to get better yourself, starting now. There is a moment in every journey where you feel the weight of the climb, not because you're weak, but because you're close. Close to a breakthrough. Close to becoming someone you've never been before. And in that moment, your attitude becomes everything. Your body may feel tired, your mind may scream to stop, but your attitude, the fire inside you, can keep going long after your energy fades. It's not about pushing harder for the sake of struggle. It's about pushing smarter, with belief, with purpose, with the absolute certainty that every step forward matters. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the signal that transformation is happening. When you feel the burn, it means you're waking up potential. It means you're breaking through the walls built by fear, laziness, and doubt. That pressure you feel is not punishment, it's preparation. You are being stretched, shaped, and sculpted into the person you were meant to be, and your attitude is the chisel. Every thought of faith chips away at fear. Every decision to keep going carves strength into your identity. And every time you choose to rise instead of retreat, you build character that no failure can take from you. You don't grow by staying comfortable. You grow by standing in the heat and refusing to run. You grow when you stop asking for the process to be easier and start asking yourself to be stronger, because you can be stronger. You can develop a mindset that doesn't flinch in the face of pressure, or a mindset that expects resistance and welcomes it, a mindset that says, if it's hard, it's helping me. That kind of attitude is rare, but it's available, and it's built by choice, moment by moment, day by day, repetition by repetition. No one becomes powerful by accident. It's a decision, a relentless decision to face everything with a mindset that says, I will not break. Not because life will be kind, but because you will be prepared. You will be grounded. You will be so mentally disciplined, so emotionally centered, that no failure, no judgment, no delay can shake what you've built inside. That strength doesn't come from outside motivation. It comes from self-respect. It comes from knowing that quitting is not an option because you've already decided who you are. When you build that level of mental toughness, your entire world shifts. You stop chasing comfort. You stop avoiding difficulty. You begin to lean into the process, knowing it's where the real rewards live. Not in the outcome, but in the grit, the persistence, the attitude that never gives up. That's the difference between someone who tries and someone who transforms. You are not just here to survive. You are here to evolve, to expand, to rise. And your attitude is the engine. Feed it with belief. Fuel it with purpose. And no matter how steep the climb, you will reach heights you never thought possible. Because the climb isn't breaking you, it's building you. Every day you wake up, you are given two choices. You can react or you can lead. Reacting is easy. It's passive. It's automatic. It's the default mode of the mind when attitude is weak and purpose is unclear. But leading your thoughts, leading your emotions, leading your actions, that takes intention. That takes ownership. And that is where transformation begins. You were never meant to drift through life hoping things get better. You were meant to take control of your mind and steer your future with clarity, conviction, and courage. Your attitude is not just how you feel, it's how you lead yourself. It's the internal standard you hold even when the world around you lowers its expectations. It's the decision to be focused when distractions are everywhere. It's the will to stay grounded when everything is trying to shake your belief. Attitude is the internal compass that keeps you moving forward when it would be easier to stop. And the stronger your attitude becomes, the less you depend on motivation and the more you live through discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. But it doesn't show up because you feel inspired. It shows up because you made a decision to show up when you're tired, a decision to follow through when no one is watching, a decision to lead yourself in silence, in struggle, in solitude. That is where greatness is built, not in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments where your attitude chooses effort over excuse. That's where self-respect is earned. You don't become confident by waiting for life to validate you. You build confidence by doing hard things with consistency. You strengthen belief by showing up for yourself when it matters most, when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when every part of you wants to back down, but you don't. You keep pushing. You keep leading. You keep choosing the mindset that aligns with your vision, not your mood, because moods are temporary, but your mission is bigger than how you feel. You are shaping your future with every choice you make in the present, and it begins in your mind. Before any action, before any result, there is a thought. If that thought is weak, the foundation crumbles. But if that thought is strong, focused, empowering, everything else follows. You cannot afford to let negative thoughts run on autopilot. You must interrupt them, replace them, lead them. You must become the leader of your own mind before you can lead your life into anything meaningful. No one else can give you this power. It's already inside you. It just needs to be activated with intention, with practice, with relentless focus. This is how you separate yourself from the average. This is how you rise, by mastering your attitude and using it to lead day after day, moment after moment, no matter what life throws your way. That is the mindset of a winner. And it starts now with how you choose to think. The quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of your focus, and your focus is controlled by your attitude. You can look at a situation and see only the obstacle, or you can train your mind to search for the opportunity. That decision changes everything, because what you focus on grows. If you constantly focus on what's missing, what's hard, what's not working, your energy will shrink. Your drive will weaken. But if you choose to focus on what's possible, on what's in your control, on the next right step, you begin to build momentum. You begin to reclaim your power. It's not about being positive all the time. It's about being responsible for where you place your attention. Your mind is a garden. Every thought is a seed. You are either planting strength or planting stress. You are either growing fear or growing faith. And the attitude you carry is what determines which one you nurture. That's why self-awareness matters. That's why mental discipline matters. Because you can't control every situation, but you can always control the way you interpret it. And that interpretation will either push you forward or pull you under. The strongest people are not the ones who avoid adversity. They are the ones who face it with clarity. They don't waste time blaming or complaining. They channel that energy into adjusting, learning, and progressing. They carry an attitude that says, this may not be easy, but it will be worth it. That mindset shifts your biology. It sharpens your focus. It strengthens your immune system. It increases your drive. Because your attitude doesn't just shape your thoughts, it shapes your entire experience of life. You must protect your mind like your life depends on it. Because it does. When you allow negativity to fester, when you let self-doubt run wild, when you repeat thoughts of limitation, you are building a cage inside your own mind. And no amount of external success will free you if you're still a prisoner to your internal dialogue. That's why your attitude is not a reaction to life. It is the foundation of it. You must decide what mindset you wake up with, what lens you see challenges through, what story you tell yourself when things go wrong. These are not small details. They are the blueprint of your future. And when you make the decision to guard your focus, to lead your attention, to refuse to let your mind wander into weakness, you rise above your circumstances. You begin to create from intention, not impulse. You begin to respond with strength, not fear. This is what separates the average from the exceptional. The mindset, the attitude, the refusal to surrender to distractions, doubts, or excuses. You were not designed to drift. You were designed to direct. And that direction starts in your focus. You lead it, you shape it, you own it. And in doing so, you create a life that reflects the strength of your attitude, one choice at a time. The moment you decide to take ownership of your life, everything changes. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because your inner world becomes stronger. Ownership is the foundation of true transformation. It means no more blaming, no more waiting, no more hoping someone else will come save you. It means stepping fully into your power and saying, this is mine to handle. That decision is not easy, but it's the most liberating choice you'll ever make. It removes the weight of helplessness and replaces it with the fire of personal responsibility. You can't change what you avoid. You can't grow through what you deny. And you can't lead your life if you're still giving away your power to circumstances, to a network error occurred. Please check your connection and try again. If this issue persists, please contact us through our help center at help. OpenAI.com. You can't change what you avoid. You can't grow through what you deny. You cannot lead your life if you're still giving away your power to circumstances, to people, to fear. Owning your mindset, your choices, your attitude means refusing to be a passenger in your own story. It means stepping up and becoming the driver, no matter how messy or difficult the road ahead may be. That kind of ownership is a commitment to yourself, a promise that no matter what happens, you will face it head-on with courage, clarity, and determination. This level of ownership rewires your brain. It trains you to stop reacting emotionally and start responding intentionally. When challenges arise, you no longer fall into old patterns of excuse or denial. Instead, you pause, assess, and act. You understand that your response is the only thing truly within your control. This shift is powerful because it moves you from victimhood to victory. It breaks the chains of helplessness and unlocks a reservoir of inner strength you didn't realize you had. When you take full responsibility for your attitude, you become unstoppable. This doesn't mean life will be perfect or that pain will disappear. It means you will develop a mindset that is unshakable, rooted not in what happens around you, but in how you choose to face it. Ownership means understanding that setbacks are part of the process, not the end of the road. It means knowing that the only true failure is giving up. Every time you choose to keep going, you rewrite your story, reshaping your identity into someone who refuses to be defined by circumstances, but instead defines circumstances by their relentless attitude. When you take ownership, you create space for growth. You free yourself from the prison of blame, regret, and frustration. Instead of asking, why me, you ask, what next? Instead of waiting for permission or perfect conditions, you take action in the now. You understand that the power to change your life lies in your hands, through the daily choices you make, the mindset you cultivate, and the attitude you carry. This is not just motivation, this is transformation at the deepest level. Owning your attitude is an act of courage because it means confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself and your life. It means facing your fears, doubts, and weaknesses without running. But this confrontation is also a doorway to freedom. When you stop blaming the world and start blaming yourself, meaning holding yourself accountable, you step into the driver's seat. You become the leader of your own life. And when you lead with ownership, you create a foundation so strong that no external force can knock you off course. The choice to own your attitude today is the most powerful investment you can make in your future. It fuels resilience, builds confidence, and unlocks potential you may have forgotten was inside you all along. You become the person who doesn't wait for change. You become the change. And that transformation begins with a single decision to take full responsibility for your life, your mindset, and your success. This is the key to unlocking everything you want and becoming who you are truly meant to be. Every thought you entertain is a choice, and every choice either builds or breaks your future. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you control the meaning you assign to it. This is the secret weapon of attitude. It's not the external events that shape your life, but how you interpret and respond to them. When you grasp this truth, you reclaim power from the chaos around you. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your own destiny. This shift in perception isn't just freeing, it's transformative. Your mind is the battlefield where every success or failure is first won or lost. The voices inside your head can either be your greatest allies or your worst enemies. The ones that whisper doubt, fear, and limitation are lies disguised as truth. Recognize them as such. You have the ability to challenge these voices, to silence them, and to replace them with messages that empower, uplift, and push you forward. This isn't just positive thinking, it's deliberate mental training. When you consistently choose empowering thoughts, your brain rewires itself to expect success, resilience, and growth. That's the science behind the attitude that breeds success. Negative thoughts and limiting beliefs only gain strength if you give them space. Every time you resist the urge to succumb to negativity, you build mental muscle. Every time you choose belief over doubt, you build emotional resilience. This is not an overnight process. It's a daily, moment-by-moment battle. But it is a battle worth fighting because it shapes everything else in your life. Your actions, your relationships, your goals, all are influenced by the quality of your internal dialogue. When you elevate your thoughts, you elevate your entire experience. A powerful attitude does not ignore reality. It embraces it with fierce clarity. It sees obstacles not as barriers, but as challenges to overcome. It acknowledges pain, but refuses to be defined by it. It understands that setbacks are temporary and that every failure contains the seed of growth. This perspective rewires your brain to approach life with confidence rather than fear. When you believe you can adapt and improve, you move forward with more courage and less hesitation. This mindset breaks the cycle of self-doubt and opens the door to persistent action. Your attitude is the lens through which your entire life is filtered. If that lens is clouded by negativity, everything looks impossible. But when you clean that lens, when you focus on what you can control and commit to the mindset of growth, you see opportunities where others see dead ends. This clarity fuels motivation and sparks creativity. It turns hard work into purposeful effort. It transforms fear into courage. It makes the difference between quitting and continuing, between regret and pride. The power of your attitude is the power to change your inner world and through it your outer world. When you start to see every challenge as a chance to grow, every failure as a lesson, and every day as an opportunity to improve, you unlock the full potential of your mind. This is the heart of true success, not luck, not talent, but a mindset so strong that no obstacle can stop it. You are capable of cultivating this mindset starting right now by choosing the thoughts you feed and the attitude you carry. This is your key to freedom, power, and lasting success. True transformation begins the moment you decide that your attitude will no longer be dictated by circumstances outside your control. You understand that the external world is unpredictable, often harsh, but the internal world, your thoughts, your mindset, your perspective, can be mastered. This mastery is not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It is available to anyone willing to take full responsibility for their mental and emotional state. When you claim that responsibility, you stop being tossed by the storms of life and instead become the calm center within them. You must recognize that your attitude is a choice made continuously. Every morning when you wake up, you decide what kind of person you will be today. Will you let fear rule your decisions, or will you let faith guide your steps? Will you focus on what's missing, or will you acknowledge what you already have and build on it? This choice matters because it sets the tone for your entire day, your relationships, and your progress toward your goals. Your attitude shapes the energy you bring into every situation, influencing how others respond to you and what you are able to accomplish. When challenges arise, and they will, your attitude will determine your resilience. It will decide whether you crumble under pressure or rise stronger. The difference is not found in external factors, but inside your mind. Those who succeed do so because they embrace a mindset that views obstacles as opportunities to learn and improve. They see failure not as an end, but as feedback, a necessary step on the path to mastery. This mindset turns pressure into power, fear into fuel, and pain into progress. Developing this mindset requires daily practice and unwavering commitment. It demands that you notice your thoughts and intentionally redirect them when they veer toward negativity or defeat. It means choosing to speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement instead of criticism and doubt. It means replacing "I can't" with "I will try." "I'm not good enough" with "I am capable," and "this is impossible" with "this is difficult." But I will find a way. These simple shifts in language reshape your brain and rewire your emotional responses, making you stronger and more adaptable with each passing day. Your attitude is the invisible force that propels you forward even when the path is unclear. It sustains you during moments of loneliness and doubt. It fuels your persistence when progress is slow or setbacks seem overwhelming. The power of your attitude lies in its ability to transform how you experience life itself. By mastering it, you change your story from one of struggle and limitation to one of courage, growth, and endless possibility. Remember, the world may not hand you success on a silver platter, but your attitude can make you worthy of it. When you cultivate a mindset of strength and purpose, you magnetize opportunities and inspire others around you. You become the leader of your own destiny, the master of your own fate. This is the power of attitude, the key that unlocks not just success, but a life lived with meaning, resilience, and unshakable confidence. Choose it now. Choose it every day, because your future depends on it. Every single day you wake up with a choice that defines your entire trajectory. Will you surrender to the weight of doubt, fear, and negativity, or will you rise with unwavering resolve and an unbreakable spirit? This choice is the foundation of your attitude, your most valuable asset in the pursuit of success. When you understand that attitude is not a fleeting feeling but a deliberate decision, you step into a place of true power. It is here in this space of intentional mindset that transformation becomes possible. Attitude shapes the way you see the world, but more importantly, it shapes how the world sees you. It colors your interactions, your decisions, and ultimately, your destiny. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending life is easy. It's about choosing to meet reality with strength, clarity, and hope. It's about looking challenges in the eye and refusing to shrink back. This mindset is contagious. It influences not only your internal world, but the people and opportunities that come into your life. When your attitude radiates confidence and determination, it pulls success closer to you like a magnet. The science behind attitude reveals something profound. The brain is wired to respond to what it focuses on. Negative focus strengthens pathways of fear, doubt, and limitation. Positive focus builds new neural connections that enhance resilience, creativity, and confidence. This means every time you redirect your attention from negativity to possibility, you are literally reshaping your brain. You are training yourself to see solutions where others see only problems. This process is slow and steady, but with persistence, it creates an unstoppable mindset that carries you through the toughest storms. Your attitude is the silent driver behind every action you take. It is the force that keeps you moving when motivation fades. It is the voice that whispers, "Keep going," even when the road is long and exhausting. This inner force is cultivated through consistent practice, a daily commitment to control your thoughts, regulate your emotions, and choose courage over comfort. It demands self-awareness and honesty, a willingness to confront your own weaknesses and fears head-on without judgment. This is the real work behind lasting success, the relentless mastery of your inner world. Remember that setbacks and failures are inevitable, but they do not have to define you. Your attitude determines whether you become a prisoner to disappointment or a student of growth. By embracing a mindset that sees every obstacle as a lesson, every failure as feedback, you unlock the power to transform adversity into advantage. This perspective is what separates those who quit from those who achieve. It is the key that turns struggle into strength and doubt into determination. Choosing the right attitude is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong commitment. It requires daily effort, conscious choices, and sometimes the courage to rise again after falling. But this commitment is the greatest gift you can give yourself because it leads to a life of purpose, resilience, and achievement. When you own your attitude, you own your future. You become the person who doesn't wait for success. You become the person who creates it. This power is yours to claim right now. Never forget, your attitude is the key that unlocks the door to everything you desire. Your attitude is the foundation upon which every success is built, yet it is often the most overlooked factor in the pursuit of greatness. What you think, how you feel, and the energy you carry into every moment combine to create a force that either propels you forward or holds you back. This force is invisible but undeniably powerful. It governs your reactions to challenges, your persistence in the face of setbacks, and the way you engage with opportunities. When you choose a strong, positive attitude, you arm yourself with resilience and clarity that no external circumstance can shake. It is essential to realize that attitude is not a passive trait, but an active choice that requires vigilance. Each time negativity tries to creep in, you must recognize it and refuse to let it take root. Your mind will naturally drift to doubts and fears because that is its survival instinct. But your true strength lies in your ability to steer it back toward hope, possibility, and determination. This mental discipline rewires your brain, forming pathways that favor optimism and strength. Over time, this makes positive thinking not just a habit, but a natural state of being, one that supports your success without effort. The emotional power of a strong attitude lies in its ability to fuel motivation from within. External rewards and recognition are fleeting, but the internal fire that a determined attitude ignites can burn steadily through any hardship. This inner motivation is immune to setbacks because it is rooted in purpose and belief, not in temporary circumstances. When your attitude aligns with your deepest values and goals, you develop an unshakable drive that keeps you moving forward, even when external validation is absent. Your attitude also shapes your relationships, which are critical to your growth and success. People naturally gravitate toward those who exude confidence, positivity, and determination. When you maintain a strong attitude, you create an energy that inspires and attracts support, opportunities, and collaboration. Conversely, a negative or defeatist attitude repels these vital connections, isolating you and limiting your potential. By cultivating the right mindset, you not only improve your own life, but also create a ripple effect that influences the world around you. Success is never a straight line. It is a journey filled with obstacles, failures, and moments of doubt. What defines those who reach their goals is not an absence of difficulty, but an unwavering attitude that refuses to give up. This attitude views every obstacle as a chance to learn, every failure as a stepping stone, and every setback as temporary. It embraces discomfort as a necessary part of growth and sees patience as a virtue, not a burden. This mental framework is what transforms effort into achievement and dreams into reality. You must commit to nurturing your attitude with the same care and dedication you give to any skill or goal. It requires self-awareness, intentionality, and perseverance. Every moment you spend feeding your mind with empowering thoughts is an investment in your future. Every time you choose courage over fear, you reinforce a mindset that leads to success. This is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong journey. But the payoff is immeasurable, a life driven by purpose, resilience, and unstoppable momentum. Your attitude is the key that unlocks this life. Guard it fiercely, cultivate it daily, and watch as it transforms your world. To truly harness the power of attitude, you must begin by accepting complete responsibility for your mental and emotional state. This means no longer blaming circumstances, other people, or your past for where you are today. It is easy to fall into the trap of victimhood, where external factors become excuses for inaction, but true success is reserved for those who refuse to give away their power. When you own your attitude, you reclaim control over your life. You become the author of your own story, no longer a character reacting to the plot, but the force driving it forward. This level of ownership requires a deep and honest self-awareness. You must regularly check in with yourself to notice how your thoughts and feelings are shaping your actions. When negativity arises, confront it head-on instead of avoiding or suppressing it. Naming your fears, doubts, and frustrations strips them of their power. Acknowledge them, then choose to respond differently. This is the foundation of emotional intelligence, the ability to manage your inner world with intention rather than being controlled by it. The stronger your emotional intelligence, the more resilient and adaptable your attitude becomes. Every thought you entertain and every feeling you allow to persist influences the quality of your attitude. This is why it's critical to feed your mind with positive, empowering ideas consistently. Your brain is like a garden. What you plant and nurture will grow. If you focus on limitations, your attitude will reflect scarcity and defeat. If you focus on possibilities, growth, and learning, your attitude will embody hope and strength. This mental discipline may feel challenging at first because the mind is conditioned to seek out the negative. But with persistence, this rewiring becomes natural and automatic. Your attitude is also your greatest defense against external negativity and setbacks. Life will test you relentlessly with criticism, failure, and disappointment. Without a strong attitude, these forces will drain your energy and crush your spirit. With a strong attitude, they become fuel, signals to recalibrate, grow, and push harder. This resilience creates an inner sanctuary where confidence and courage live, untouched by the chaos around you. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up lies in the strength of this sanctuary. The transformation you seek is not in changing the world overnight, but in transforming your response to it. Every challenge faced with a strong attitude becomes an opportunity to develop character and deepen your resolve. This process creates momentum that propels you forward, even when the road seems endless and the destination distant. The more you commit to cultivating this mindset, the more you will see doors open, barriers fall, and your vision become reality. This journey demands patience, persistence, and unwavering faith in yourself. It is not easy and it is not quick, but the rewards are immeasurable. Greater peace, clarity, confidence, and ultimately success. When you claim your attitude as your most powerful tool, you gain a force that no setback can stop, no fear can shake, and no failure can defeat. This force is within you now, waiting to be unleashed. Choose it every day, choose it with everything you have, and watch your life transform in ways you once thought impossible.